Game Informer has been shut down or canceled or whatever. It is ceasing publication. And just in case you're out of the loop, Game Informer is the magazine published by GameStop as part of their whole, like, subscription service thing that they always, like, pester you endlessly to pay for whenever you go in. The magazine has always been tied to that. And I see a lot of people talking about how, like, shocked they are. Honestly, I'm shocked that it lasted this long. Definitely not because there was anything wrong with it, but just in this age of increasing cynicism and corporate greed, I almost assumed that it had closed down a long time ago. Just because, like, everything is getting canceled. And this is print media. You know, print media is going the way of the dodo. And so, like, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised GameStop didn't shut it down 10 years ago or something. Apparently, it was the longest running video game publication. Print publication. I didn't know that. 33 years. That is an incredible achievement. That's absolutely nuts. And I never got Game Informer. Back when I was reading magazines, I was, middle school, high school, and I was like that super cynical, grumpy console war kid who I picked up one magazine in a store once and was like, didn't like their review of a Nintendo game. It was like, oh, they're so biased against Nintendo. It's probably not true. But obviously, like, it seems like it was a great publication. It ran for a long time. A lot of people are just, humongous outpouring of sympathy for the staff and all of the years and years. Memories, 33 years. That's nearly as old as I am. That's a lifetime of memories. And especially if you were around back in the prime years of print magazines. Oh my gosh, like, I had Nintendo Power, PSN, loved it. Just the thrill, the pure joy, the dopamine rush of getting home from school and seeing that magazine on my pillow. Oh, it was incredible. Just poring over these things. And so them shutting down, like, the knee-jerk reaction is, well, maybe it makes sense. Maybe it makes business sense. Again, print media, it's like, I get the idea that not as many people are buying magazines anymore. You've got a lot of, like, fan magazines. They're kind of like picking up the torch from other magazines that have shut down because there's like a fairly small but, like, really passionate number of people who just still like that tactile feel. They like kind of reliving that era of print magazines. I can understand that that's probably not a ton of people. You probably can't maintain too many print publications. I get that. Times have changed. I haven't picked up a video game magazine in a very, very long time. But see, then that's me giving the benefit of the doubt to GameStop. And I'm not willing to do that. I'm not gonna do that. Because, like, these companies, these corporations, they are training us. They are training us to not trust them. They are training us to believe that they are the most reactionary, petty entities possible. I don't know what the numbers are. For all I know, the magazine was still very successful, but it made $12 less this year than it did last year. So they said, oh, just chop it off. Just end it now. And it's very sad. Apparently GameStop had been just laying off more and more employees over time. So I guess it kind of seemed like it was circling the drain anyway. The corporate sharks already got a scent of blood. They already had their sights set on the poor thing. And so, yeah, like I said, these companies, they're revealing their true colors, and they are training us to have a certain viewpoint of them as being so absurdly short-sighted. But, like, I still don't quite get it, because, like, if you're going to make those decisions, you're going to make those really dumb decisions, like, okay, sure, if you think that's good business or whatever, but, like, even if you're going to do it, I keep saying, even if you're going to do it, why can't you do it well? Why can't you take an extra 10 minutes of your time, an extra tiny bit of person power to make sure that it goes over in a way that's at least mildly respectful? that maintains just a shred of dignity. Like, I'm waiting for a time when one of these closures anywhere in the industry is handled with even a shred of tact. Because, like, again, this is business. Public perception is objectively important. Maintaining a semblance of consumer trust. That's a money thing. You want to make money? You need to do that, even if you're being totally two-faced about it. You still have to pretend. You have to pretend to care about the human beings responsible for these things. And yet, time and time again, doesn't even matter what the company is. They just don't. It's like they literally don't know how. I mean, I thought that companies like this hire PR firms to handle these decisions for them, and yet they don't know. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how humans work. All that to say, this magazine has been going for as long as it did. It's been going for 33 years. You've been keeping it running. You couldn't spend one last teensy chunk of money to let them finish their final issue. I read somewhere it was like 70% done. Nah, just don't even let them. Or like, maybe even better, say, hey everybody, this is gonna be your final issue. How about do one more? Do one more, and it could be a big farewell issue. If you've been letting them do an issue every month for the last 33 years, you couldn't stand to spend a little money on one more month to let them do a big farewell and to let people see that they are shutting down and come away from this news not just hating GameStop that much more. Now, it's too much. It's just too much for GameStop to handle. They are okay with the amount of further additional damage that this does to their reputation, increasing our actual hatred levels for them as a company. They're apparently fine with that, despite what that does objectively to them as a business. It's baffling. It really genuinely seems like these companies are not run by humans. They're not people. They're like strange machine aliens. And even beyond canceling the whole thing and not even giving them one last issue, it goes beyond that. The Game Informer team used the official Game Informer Twitter account to write a fond farewell to everybody. Thanks for all the memories. Thanks for reading us for all of these years. And everybody's reading that and everybody's replying, quote retweeting, oh, we're so sad to see you go. It's a nice moment. GameStop didn't just take down the tweet. They nuked the account. They deleted the account completely. Okay. All right. All right. You can't even just give them, so they won't give them one last issue. And apparently they can't even give them a happy little farewell. Okay. Further, this keeps going. Then GameStop wrote their own farewell. Their own little thing, I guess, trying to save face a little bit. Their own little write-up, their tweet about how Game Informer is, it's been a long time and we're all gonna miss you. But GameStop wrote it, and people are pretty convinced that it was written by an AI. They have really good reason to believe that it was generated by an AI. Not even, you couldn't get a PR person. You couldn't pay a freelancer $50. I would have done it. I'll do it for $50. I don't, just you couldn't get a person. No, you had to get an AI to write your own after nuking the previous real one. And it goes on. There's more. There's more to this story. One more step that GameStop had to take. Well, Game Informer, it's gone. 33 years, but at least we have the archives. No, we don't. GameStop deleted them. Unceremoniously just wiped the archives. And I'm not going to pretend to know everything about this industry, these businesses. Is it perhaps a licensing thing? Is there some deeper legal reason why it would somehow hurt them to keep the archives up? Maybe they'd have to, pay for the cost of like just running the servers for the archives, I guess, maybe. But again, you've been doing it all of these years, and you're a bunch of joiks, Just come on. Give us something here. Give us a shred of evidence that there are human people with hearts and like blood up in those buildings running this company. Give us something. But once again, this is GameStop we're talking about. And GameStop gonna GameStop. And so I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they would handle it so like comically poorly. I mean, it's comical. It's like purposeful. It's like they're doing it on purpose. They're doing it as poorly as possible. You couldn't write, if this was a Seinfeld episode, this is a Curb Your Enthusiasm or something, just if this was a comedy, you could not make it worse. Apart from having some zany antics where the CEO of GameStop accidentally like kicks a dog or something. Like that's it. Like that's the only other step, because it seems like it's been manufactured to be as cruel as possible. Well, my thoughts go out to everybody affected. It is a sad thing to see the longest running print video game publication ever shutting down. That really is the end of an era. Are there any big ones left? Any other long running ones? Nintendo Power has been gone for years. I don't even know who else is left who's been in the game for that long. And even this one probably only existed for as long as it did because it was tied to the whole like membership thing. It wasn't just like a freestanding subscription that people just pay for because they want the magazine. Yeah, it's a bummer. Thanks, GameStop. Thanks, GameStop. See you later.